through 21. And as earlier on in our reading, Paul was basically going to beginning of the chapter. Paul was basically saying, "I come forward as a fool." And what he's really kind of pointing out, like with Shakespeare's King Lear, it is the fool who's able to say the wise things. It is the fool in the play Shakespeare, or Shakespeare's play, who is able to come forward and say, see what's happening and say it. And he's the only one that's allowed to say it without being killed because he's the fool. But he is the wise one in all of that play. And so I repeat, Paul says, let no one think me foolish. But even if you do, accept me as a fool, so that I too may boast a little. Accept me as a fool. Fine, whatever. Accept me as a fool. Call me a fool, as long as you hear the wisdom I have to give to you. And if the Lord's word comes, I don't care how that happens. How? By me being a fool, if that brings the Lord's word to you, and you stay in the faith, I'll be a fool. Verse 17. What I am saying with this boastful confidence, I say not with the Lord's authority, but as a fool. And throughout the rest of this chapter, he's going to be bringing what he has gone through as an apostle, as a sharer of the gospel. And as a fool, they're saying, look how awesome we are. Fine. I'll beat them at their own game. And that'll start when we gather together on Monday. That's where that will start and begin. Verse 18. Since many boast according to the flesh, I too will boast. Fine. You're boasting. I'm boasting. I'm boasting as a servant. I'm boasting as one who has done all of this. And I'm boasting as one who is boasting, remembering several days ago, I am boasting for the Lord. I am not boasting for me, but for him. And we boast in churches with one another of God's actions and God's work. And praise be to the Lord when his will takes place in our life. Verse 19. For you gladly bear with fools, being wise yourselves. You'll bear with me as a fool because you're so wise. You know what you're doing. Bear with me. And we'll do flesh to flesh. Verse 20. For you, who are these wise ones, bear it if someone makes a slave of you, or devours you, or takes advantage of you, or puts on airs, or strikes you in the face, which is basically what's going on with these super apostles. They're coming forward. They're basically putting them under bondage again of the law and getting rid of the gospel. They're devouring. They're taking in for themselves. They're gluttonous. They're taking advantage. They're putting on the airs of how awesome I am. And Christ says, and Paul says, no, as a servant, as one who suffers, as Christ suffered on our behalf. To my shame, I must say we are too weak for that. And so we'll bring it forward. Like I said, starting on Monday, what specifically is Paul going to bring up? But we'll go forward. They say this, we will say it too. And we will see where their deeds lie and where the deeds of the Lord lie, lead, and direct us, being servants of the Lord and servants of one another. In Christ's holy name.